What's up, YouTube? This is going to be our guide on how to use Leafeon in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I'll be providing competitive movesets and some fun me movesets too. If there's a Pokemon you'd like to see me cover, put it below in the comment section. And if you enjoy these videos, if you get yourself thinking, drop a like there too, and let's get into it. So this is the last evolution today. I've done all the other ones. If you haven't checked them out, make sure you do. So, Leafeon. So, this Pokemon has got a couple of good stats. We've got a nice base defense of 130 and an attack of 110 and a reasonable speed stat too. Like a lot of the other evolutions, or a few of them, this Pokemon does struggle a bit learning a lot of moves, and it does struggle for having a fairly barren move pool. Now, also, it being a grass type doesn't help too much either. Let's have a look at its abilities, however. We've got Leaf Guard, so if Sunny Day is active, the Pokemon can up his status, and Chlorophyll. So if Sunny Day is active, the Pokemon speed is going to double. So that's good on the side. It can be very, very fast. The only thing is, when Sunny Day up is, that's going to be powering up fire moves. And it being a grass Pokemon, well, I mean, it isn't the great. It can be a good or a bad thing. So the first set I want to have a look at here is going to be a Sword Dance set. And it does get a nice boosting move. So Sword Dance is going to give it a boost by 2 stages, which is going to be excellent for its nice high base attack. Now, we've got a couple of options here for a grass move. Leaf Blade is always pretty solid. It's 90 base power, has a critical hit chance as well. And the Terra I chose in this is going to be Terra Blast Water. There's a couple of Terras you could run there. I was thinking you could run Terra Grass just to boost up Leaf Blade as well, obviously. And you've got Terra Fire as well if you wanted to run this on, say, a Sun team, right? But let's say you weren't running on a Sun team, you just wanted to run it normally. Water could give you some extra options, you know, against like opposing fire type Pokemon. Another one you could run on there as well could be Terra Rock as well. That could be kind of interesting. So that would, you'd be able to hit flying Pokemon, which would be good. You'd be able to hit fire Pokemon too, and you'd be able to hit ice Pokemon. So I want to say, out of all of them, I say that Terra Rock is pretty good. It rocks. But you could have Terra Fire as well, which would obviously help against any other fire Pokemon coming your way. At least you could, hit them for a neutral damage move, and you could, power up maybe that if you got the sun going. So Terra Blast, a fire under the sun. But yeah, I think that Terra Rock has the best coverage out of all of them. So that's what I would go with. If you're using it on a Sun team, you could definitely go with Terra Fire as well. So that would at least power up that move a fair bit. The other move I go was Knockoff, because Knockoff is just a good move in general, and it gives some good coverage as well. And it's always handy having a move, an item knocked off an opposing Pokemon too. It may be something troublesome like a choice item or anything like that. So that's how I would run Leafeon as a Sword Dance one. Now, you could do that in doubles. That would be okay. In doubles, maybe you could give it a status move. I've got some more double sets coming up, but yeah, you could maybe pop on Protect there if you don't want Knockoff or anything, so you don't need Leaf Blade and Terra Blast, because most of the time you're going to be using those 2 moves anyway. EV Spread, I've given it Jolly. I like that for in case the sun isn't up, but if you have got the sun going, you can go for Adamant. It gets such a big boost in attack with Adamant, so yeah, you can definitely go from there. If you don't have any sun, go Jolly. If you definitely can get the sun going, get Adamant. You get a whole lot more attack, as you can see there. It really benefits from having that. So yeah, so I'll give obviously some teammates. You're looking at stuff like Torkoal, but I'll with Drought and things like that. But I'll get more into some teammates as we go on. So the next set you could possibly run with it, if you don't want to run Leaf Blade, is Loaded Dice Bullet Seed. So this is actually more powerful than Leaf Blade. So you've got 4 minimum hits, which makes it 100 base power. And you could possibly get another one too, because it does a minimum of 4 hits, so 4 to 5 hits. So that would actually essentially have 125 base power if you was able to get all 5 hits, which is a pretty good chance. Obviously, the other moves are similar. So we got Sword Dance, Terra Blast. I go this Air Away, so I was sort of just playing around with different sort of moves you could use here. So maybe I was thinking maybe that was meant to be Rock, actually. So So we got Terra Rock, and obviously we've got some pretty good coverage there. You know, flying, and we've got the fire Pokemon, which is going to give it nice. And then other, like, opposing grass Pokemon. You could have Aerial Ace as well. Good thing about Aerial Ace, it doesn't miss, which is going to be reasonable. The only thing, its base power is kind of bad. Once again, Leafeon doesn't have a huge amount of moves that it learns on the physical side, so... yeah, you're pretty much going to be using a grass move or a terror move. So I gave this Leaf Guard. You could give it Leaf Guard or Chlorophyll. Like, I gave it Leaf Guard because you could run it under the sun and it wouldn't get status, like, say, a Will-O-Wisp or something like that. That's another good thing about going back to this one. With Terra-type Fire, you can't be burned either. So that's another really, really good one to go for as well. If you know, I'd say that and Rock are the two best on Leafeon. Leafeon Terra Fire, so you can't get burned. Hitting opposing grass types, and you know, it works out pretty well. But I'd say most of the time you'll be using Chlorophyll over Leaf Guard. But if you want to have that little niche, you could go for Leaf Guard on a Sun team, or just in general, or maybe if you want to set your own Sun up. So there are a couple options, but most of the time I would be running Chlorophyll for sure. So, yep, you could go for that, and then always you can adjust it to Adamant, so it's got a big attack. So just another little, like, way of running this one differently. But I feel like Leaf Blade can, you know, it crits here and there, so it definitely, I feel like it might be just better in that regard than Bullet Seed. Like, you have to, like, give up your item as well, so you might have to give up your Lumberry. Let's say, for example, that you did have Terra Fire, you probably wouldn't have to worry about Lumberry. You could give it something a little bit different. So, for example, let's say you got Terra Fire. You could give it Citrus Berry to allow it to maybe set up a little bit more. You could give it Weakness Policy because it does have a nice defensive stat. So you could live a super move and give you any more, like, some more, like, speed boosts and stuff like that. Doubles, so it isn't the fastest Pokemon, so you could give it Covert Cloak. That could work too. That could be interesting. Another interesting one you could give it is Adrenaline Orb as well. If you ever got intimidated. This is more, obviously, this is more for doubles. That would increase your speed, but if you've got Sun going, it probably doesn't matter too much, but just trying to think of some more things. And then we got Life Orb as well. Life Orb's going to be good, just extra damage. You're probably better off just going straight up with Life Orb, you know, for even more damage. Singles, here you could have Heavy Duty Boots as well. That's always another good option to have there too. If you want to try and boost up your, you could have do we have Meadow Plate at the moment? Yeah, we got Meadow Plate, so you could boost up your Leaf Blade there. Or you could boost up your Terra Blast. We either go Charcoal or... yeah, I'd honestly probably just go Life Orb. Get some really, really good damage. Like, once you got that Sun going, it's going to be hitting very, very hard. So, a couple of item examples there, and a little bit of a different set there if you want to change them up. The only benefit Bullet Seed really has over it is guaranteed base power, a little bit harder, and individual hits. So, you might be able to get around, say, a Substitute, Sturdy, things like that. So, that's how I would go there. Next we've got is a complete Sun team. So, we're looking at definitely having the Sun on this one. So, we're looking at our partners like, you know, Torkoal, right? So, Torkoal with Drought, for sure. I'll just recommend a couple now while we're talking about these. So, definitely running this along Pokemon with Drought. So, Torkoal's a great one because, you know, you can swap into Torkoal and Torkoal can swap into this. So, they sort of cover each other's weaknesses pretty good. So, this can use a more powerful grass move again. It is relying on the Sun, and it's got 125 base power. So that's Solar Blade. So basically, it's a physical version of Solar Beam, right? So you've got a couple of examples there: Leaf Blade, Bullet Seed, or Solar Blade, depending on what you want to do. Terra Blast Fire, of course, Sword Dance, and Knockoff. So that gives you some pretty nice coverage there, to say the least. So another move that isn't all that bad on there as well is Double Edge. So it does have high base power, and it's just, I guess it's just good against, say, for example, you've got like a powerful neutral attack. Like, you can't really use your fire move, and you can't use your Solar Blade, but you need like a powerful neutral attack. That could absolutely work as well. So that's just another example, but it is very, very barren. So Chlorophyll, obviously, we're boosting up our speed there. We've got Adamant Nature, max speed, and, you know, just put the last little bit in defense. and Terrifier again. I feel like Terrifier and Rock are definitely the two best on this. And then you've got, you know, you got some other surprise ones like, well, you could have Grass as well to increase Solar Blade's damage. There's that. Then you got some other more surprise ones like Water. But yeah, I'd say Fire and Rock are the two best for this, following it with Grass. So that's how I would go about running as a Sun team. Whether this is singles or doubles, this could absolutely work. Next set we got here is kind of similar to what I was talking about before. So we got Leaf Blade, we got Terrifier, and Sword Dance. And I've just put Protect on there too. So we got Covert Cloak as the item. And Chlorophyll. So very, very similar to what I was already talking about there. Covert Cloak's kind of nice because you're not going to get hit by those secondary effects. So maybe the sun is not going to be up, or there's a fake out user that could stall a turn of sun out or something annoying like that, or just, you know, double target you. So that would be quite handy to have that item on there as well. So actually, let's give some good suggestions. So Torkoal obviously is very, very good. You've got Drought and stuff like that. So we got Ninetales. Ninetales is another one too, but I feel like Torkoal is probably better. But you still got Ninetales for a Sun team if you're going after a specific Sun team. Obviously, some other good Pokemon to run in Sun teams. For example, any Pokemon like Roaring Moon with this ability here are going to be very, very good because you're going to get that stat rise there. So they're also good Pokemon to run along. Obviously, other Chlorophyll Pokemon are good too. They're always pretty good. So you got other, like, let's say Scovillion. That would be pretty good. For any sort of teammates and stuff like that. And any real powerful Fire-type Pokemon that just hit really hard. Like, I was thinking Chandelure. Chi-Yu would be another one as well. So any of those are going to be, pretty nice in the Sun. Trying to think of any other ones. I think we're pretty good actually for Sun team suggestions. Now, the thing about Leafeon to get like pretty much to counter it is any Pokemon that pretty much resists its few moves. I'm trying to think of a couple of Pokemon like. I'll go like super, like toxic, like Weezing would be a good one, like, because obviously like bulky grass Pokemon and like poison Pokemon are going to be like a issue. It's going to have to rely on like a neutral damaging move and stuff like that. Other fire type Pokemon could be an issue too if you're not running, let's say you are running, not running Terrifier. That's going to be kind of an issue there as well. So there's lots of different fire Pokemon. Heatran would be a good one, a very, very good one there for Leafeon as a counter, but there's a lot of counters to Leafeon. It's not like a super duper hard thing to counter, but just thought I'd mention a couple. The next sort of set you could use here is like a bulky defensive set. Obviously this defensive stat you don't want to sleep on that defensive stat. You might all try and use it. So we've got like a full-on defensive wall here. I think this might work this will work a little bit better in, a lot better in singles than doubles. So it does get Leech Seed, which is really good, and it gets Protect, so you can sort of like abuse them together, do damage to your Pokemon, the opponent's Pokemon, and heal yourself. And it also gets Sub as well, so you could do like a full-on stalling set, and then have this Leaf Blade to do damage. And then we got Leaf Guard as well, so you could run this on a Sun team as well. That way it wouldn't get status, so that's probably one of the best ways to run a defensive set. So a lot of the time, like, say, one Toxic will just shut this down or something, or a powerful special move, right? But if you got Leaf Guard, you can at least, like, stop that. And you've got Leftovers as well. So you got, like, Leftovers and Leech Seed recovery there at the same time. If you really want, like, loads of recovery, you don't really care about damage, you could go Giga Drain. It doesn't have a very, very good special attack at all, but you just adjust that to bold, but it'll be like a little bit of extra damage and stuff and things like that. So yeah, just a really, really bulky defensive wall that you could possibly use there. I feel like that's probably the best you could probably do with it. It does get some, it gets, of course, a nice and beautiful healing move here if you want to do that, but that seems just, you could completely stall if you wanted to, or maybe just get rid of Sub. The reason I put Sub on there is in case there was any status at all. Say if the sun was down or something like that, you could go about using it. You could just do like a super bulky build, like Calm Mind set. So we got Calm Mind, and instead of running Sub, you could You could have a healing move, so you could have like that. That could be quite good. Just as pure stalling. If you didn't want to do like the pure stall set, you could put, well, you can still do it, but you can have like Giga Drain on there instead. So that would be boosting the power of Giga Drain, healing you. You've got a healing move at the same time, so you could either have that or Protect. I think Protect would be better late game, whereas healing move would be better early game, as you hadn't set up any Calm Mind. So that's another way that you could possibly run it. As for Terra, well, Terra's, like, Grass is weak. You could go Terra normal, because then it's only weak to fighting. You could do that, or Electric. So, you know, in fact, Electric would probably be pretty good, because that way you're only weak to ground, and if a ground type comes in, well, you can hit them with Giga Drain, can't you? So that's probably the best one to have on there. And really, really tanky, too. And if you've got Leaf Guard going, you could, you know, not get status and things like that. So couple it with any Drought Pokemon or Sunny Day Pokemon for some extra stalling. Now, of course, we have to include a special meme here. We got a special Leafeon. Now, this Pokemon actually learns Sunny Day, which is cool. So you got Sunny Day and Solar Beam, which is nice. We got Calm Mind and Terra Blast Fire on there too. Chlorophyll, Heat Rock is the item to extend out the Sunny Day for 8 turns instead of 5. And then we've got a little bit different EVs here. We've got Max Health and Max Special Attack Modest Nature. So after that sun goes, you don't even need any speed EVs. You're going to outspeed everything anyway. And then you've given yourself some extra bulk as well to go for Calm Mind and, you know, maybe get a couple of those off and, yeah, go for it. You could swap Solar Beam up for Giga Drain if you wanted some sustain. That's another option too. But, yeah, nice little special meme set there if you want to give it a go. But let's have a look at its moves and stuff, if we've missed anything, or we can do any more discussion on this Pokemon. As I said, it's quite barren. So, like all the evolutions, it does get Baton Pass. So you can Baton Pass Sword Dance. That'd probably be the best one to go for, like Baton Pass and Sword Dance. Then you got like you got like a Curse set too. You could go like a real tanky set with Curse and Leftovers and Stall with Leech Seed. That's another option. We've gone over Detect and Protect. They're good for doubles. And then we have like Rest. You might be able to do like a Rest Sleep Talk set, but I don't know. I don't think there's too much point doing. You've already got a healing move and Leech Seed. Sword Dance is obviously a nice staple set. And you've got Wish and Yawn. You could possibly run a Choice Banner set too. Like that, you know, this Sword Dance one. You might be able to do something like this. I don't know why you would though, because you got Sword Dance. But maybe if you wanted to just lock yourself into a really, really powerful move, you could. And you could get rid of that. Or another one you could do as well, say you wanted to give it a little bit more special bulk, you could give it Assault Vest as well. And then you could just add on, I'm just thinking you could add on like another, X-Scissor isn't a bad for opposing grass Pokemon either. I like to add that one in. So yeah, that's not a bad one, depending on what rule set you're playing. So that's pretty nice for those pesky, bulky grass Pokemon. You'd be able to hit that. So Assault Vest gives you some nice extra bulk, and you've still got some good moves there to use. And yeah, you got pretty good bulk all around. So that's another good way of using it with the Assault Vest. But yes, back to where I was. So yeah, we got some other cool things. You might be able to like make that defensive one. I was thinking in doubles, you might be able to make that work too. You could use like Baby Doll Eyes and things like that if you just want to make it like pure stall. Yeah, it does get Charm and Copycat, which aren't too bad as well. It's stalling and does have Helping Hand too. So you might be able to, I'm thinking of something like, let me like Helping Hand as well. I'm going to make this like a defensive double set, like pure defense. Just hear me out here. Okay, so we got, might go Rocky Helmet. Might go Rocky Helmet on there. And we'll do Chlorophyll, because say we're running this on like a Sun team, right? We'll put just we'll put Leaf Blade on there just for some damage and stuff. And yeah, this could be used as just a pure defensive wall, which could be quite nice, right? And yeah, so yeah, you could just, I'm not sure, you probably have like, you could have Leech Seed on there, or you could have Fake Tears as well. Maybe if you've coupled it up with a special attack, you have Baby Eyes to drop the attack and then Fake Tears to help out your partner. So I definitely see you could run it like a real bulky defensive set there if you really, really wanted to. Let's have a look at its physical moves anyway. They are, as I mentioned, it is very, very barren. You'll get to see that. So it doesn't get a lot of usable moves there. So we've got Body Slam. There's not too much point using that unless you're doing like memes for paralysis. Double Edge and Facade are probably its best two normal moves. I say Double Edge more because you're going to have to like burn or status yourself with Facade. So yeah, Double Edge is alright. Just the coverage, just throwing like a fourth move slot. Knockoff, we've gone over that. Last Resort's another one you could try and go for. I've seen like little Last Resort, Leaf Blade, Sword Dance sets. It does get Quick Attack too. That's another move. It has a priority, even though it's quite a weak one. And we got T-Bomb. Trailblaze is a way of increasing its speed, but you don't really need that if you've got Chlorophyll. X-Scissor, I mentioned, that's good for bulky grass types. And then you've got stuff like Aero Ace for opposing, I don't know, grass types, but X-Scissor is probably going to be better. The only benefit to that is it's not going to miss. And yeah, that pretty much sums up the rest of the move. We sent in Bullet Seed with loaded dice, but it's kind of outclassed. We've got Grassy Glide too. You might be able to couple this with like a I was thinking like, I'm not sure if these are going to come back in the game, but like Rillaboom. I know Rillaboom's in the game. Like Tapu Bulu, you might be able to get a priority Grassy Glide going. That could be an option, but it's not all that strong with its low base power now. And yeah, that's pretty much it. As for its special moves, they're not very good. So most of them are just grass moves. I did in the past, I had this cool, like, it was like a Leaf Storm set. And then I had like, Scope Lens. And then I had like Focus Energy, so it would always crit. But they took off Focus Energy on a lot of Pokemon, so yeah, I can't do that set anymore. But yeah, its special is very bad. The only thing you could possibly do there is Calm Mind and then some special moves and Giga Drain, but it would take a while to get the Calm Minds up there. So maybe you could do like a really tanky set with Calm Mind and Rest or Healing Move and stuff like that. But that is that's pretty much it for Leafeon. Unfortunately, it doesn't learn a lot of... it learns some good moves, but it's sort of let down by the moves it learns and its typing. It's got a very nice attack stat. Its speed, I wish its speed was a little bit better. I know that it does have Chlorophyll, but obviously it heavily relies on that. It's still a good Pokemon, but nothing like super amazing. If you've got anything to add here, please put it in the comment section of the video. And that's all the evolutions, people. I've done every single one of them. So if you want to check them out, they're on the channel. And that's pretty much it. Peace out, people.